A Course in Miracles. Lesson 24. I do not perceive my own best interests. In no situation that arises do you realize the outcome that would make you happy. Therefore, you have no guide to appropriate action and no way of judging the result. What you do is determined by your perception of the situation, and that perception is wrong. It is inevitable, then, that you will not serve your own best interests. Yet they are your only goal in any situation which is correctly perceived. Otherwise, you will not recognize what they are. If you realize that you do not perceive your own best interests, you could be taught what they are. But in the presence of your conviction that you do know what they are, you cannot learn. The idea for today is a step toward opening your mind so that learning can begin. The exercises for today require much more honesty than you are accustomed to using. A few subjects, honestly and carefully considered in each of the 5 practice periods which should be undertaken today, will be more helpful than a more cursory examination of a large number. 2 minutes are suggested for each of the mind-searching periods which the exercises involve. The practice periods should begin with repeating today's idea, followed by searching the mind, with closed eyes, for unresolved situations about which you are currently concerned. The emphasis should be on uncovering the outcome you want. You will quickly realize that you have a number of goals in mind as part of the desired outcome, and also that these goals are on different levels and often conflict. In applying the idea for today, name each situation that occurs to you, and then enumerate carefully as many goals as possible that you would like to be met in its resolution. The form of each application should be roughly as follows. In the situation involving blank, I would like blank to happen, and blank to happen, and so on. Try to cover as many different kinds of outcomes as may honestly occur to you, even if some of them do not appear to be directly related to the situation, or even to be inherent in it at all. If these exercises are done properly, you will quickly recognize that you are making a large number of demands of the situation which have nothing to do with it. You will also recognize that many of your goals are contradictory, that you have no unified outcome in mind, and that you must experience disappointment in connection with some of your goals, however the situation turns out. After covering the list of as many hoped-for goals as possible, for each unresolved situation that crosses your mind, say to yourself, I do not perceive my own best interests in this situation, and go on to the next one. Lesson 24. I do not perceive my own best interests. This lesson is not an insult to intelligence, it is a mercy. It is not saying the mind chooses poorly. It is saying the mind has no way of knowing what a good choice even is. And how could it? Nothing that did not create itself can define its own function. An air fryer does not wake up one day wondering who it really is. It does not struggle with purpose. It does not attempt to reinvent itself through effort, ambition, or suffering. It does what it was made to do without question, without anxiety, without confusion. The problem is not that the air fryer is limited. The problem would be if it tried to decide what heat means, or believed it could discover its own function by experimenting with fire. That is the human predicament. If best interests were perceived, they would be chosen every time. No hesitation, no bargaining, no rationalizing suffering as necessary. The repeated choice of chaos is not accidental. Chaos must be believed to offer something. Otherwise, it would never be chosen. The smooth road is not avoided because it is hidden. It is avoided because the rough road is believed to contain a payoff. Attack must look useful. Conflict must look productive. Drama must look meaningful. If they did not, the mind would not return to them. And yet, the payoff never comes. Not immediately, not eventually, not secretly, because nothing can be extracted from what does not exist. Trying to get peace from conflict is not bad strategy. It is impossible strategy. There is a story that illustrates this perfectly. A woman repeatedly ran into a police station claiming she was being attacked. She was bruised, scratched, shaken. She described an unseen criminal terrorizing her and the surrounding neighborhood. The police took it seriously. They devoted massive resources to the case. Surveillance, investigations. Hundreds of thousands of dollars were spent trying to find the perpetrator. The neighborhood was on edge. Everyone believed a monster was loose. Eventually, the police installed cameras, and what the footage revealed ended the search instantly. There was no attacker. There never had been. The woman was harming herself, fighting no one, running from nothing. When shown the footage, her response was simple and honest. "If that's me," she said, "I must be insane." That is lesson 24 in motion. No one would fight themselves if they saw themselves doing it. No one would choose suffering if they perceived it was self-authored. No one would keep shadowboxing air if they recognized there was no opponent. The mind does not do this because it is evil. It does this because it cannot see. And here is the turn that makes this lesson kind instead of crushing. Be glad you do not perceive your own best interests, because the real danger would be not knowing that you don't. If you did not perceive your own best interests and believed that you did, learning would be impossible. You would be locked into confusion forever, mistaking chaos for purpose, mistaking pain for growth, mistaking conflict for aliveness. But the moment you recognize, "I do not know what will make me happy," something opens. Space appears. Defenses loosen. Authorship is relinquished. And now something else can be shown. This is not loss. This is replacement. The false is exchanged for the true, the unstable for the changeless, the exhausting for the restful, the anxious for the peaceful. Only a mind that admits it does not know can be taught. Only a mind that stops pretending to be its own creator can remember what created it. This lesson does not ask for better choices. It asks for surrender of authorship. "I do not perceive my own best interests" is not a defeat. It is the end of the war, and the beginning of being shown what peace actually is. Lesson 24. I do not perceive my own best interests.